welcome to Huawei Truck. And this year, actually, we were more focused on increase the capacity of the mobile broadband. And after the tier one operator like Orange, Vodafone, Cosmote have started to deploy the macro layer. I mean the 4G network. This year or in the future, they will start to increase the capacity, because for the first phase, they first will solve the coverage issue for the 4G, and for the next stage, it will be the capacity improvement. And so that's why this year we bring the new solution, especially for the active antenna solution, and also the small cell, like the small site from micro site to the pico site, and also the Wi-Fi APs. So to increase the capacity for the mobile network, mobile broadband.
Are these your general solution that you are implementing worldwide, or here in Romania you have some special projects?
We have some. We do have some special projects, because we are the radio equipment provider for Orange. After we already started deploy the macro network. So we found that there's also some coverage hole and the capacity leak. So we found that we needed to help them to improve to solve these issues. That's why we bring some customized and dedicated solution to help them to solve this kind of problem. I think for 4G deployment in Romania, I think from last year or end of 2012, it just started. And I think this is, until now, it's still at the initial phase. But we do see there's a boom of the 4G deployment in Romania. Like that big antenna for the we call it active antenna unit. Before we have the separate passive antenna and also the RF module separately. But now we smartly integrated all these two components into one to solve the issue of the location or site acquisition. Because in some dense urban, it's really difficult for the operator to find a new site. That's why we creatively have produced this type of the product to solve this problem. You just need to put this antenna outside of the building, and no need and with the power supply and transmission. That's it. That's all. Without the cabinet, traditional cabinet solution. And also we have the very smart indoor coverage solution, like the lamp site, especially for those very high buildings, because we found that after we deploy the macro site, and the indoor coverage is always, or indoor coverage and the indoor capacity is always a problem. So we creatively have this solution, like this type of the lamp site solution. We will install some Pico IO on top of the roof, and to solve this coverage issue. And actually, you can see the Pico IO is very small. Yeah.
All operators in Romania are using the small cell solutions?
I think somehow all of them use it, but the scale or the quantity is a little bit different because they are in the maybe they're not at the same stage of the deployment. But I think that is for the future. Normally, we found out that after you deploy one microsite in the 2 or 3 years, you need to deploy around 10 small cells to solve the capacity issue under this microsite. So step by step, more and more operator will deploy the small cell, including the Wi-Fi, 2G, 3G, and 4G. We invest, I think, around 500 million euro to set the cooperation with Ericsson, with the European Union to develop the 5G standard. I think we hope it will be finalized and put to commercial use after 3 or 5 years. Yeah. And at that time, one base station throughput can reach 10 gigabytes. For 4G, the level is 1 gigabyte, and for 3G is 100 megabyte. So in the 5G, it will reach 10 gigabyte.
And do you expect in Europe, for example, all operators to implement the 4G technology till they implement the 5G, or do you think it will be a step forward from 3G to 5G directly?
Actually, to be honest, it's a very good question. On my personal opinion, I still think it's difficult to override or bypass the 4G because the 5G is still not finalized, even the standard. So it takes at least 3 or 4 years. But during these 4 years, the data service, especially the data service, or machine-to-machine service, other new service will come, and if you don't take this opportunity or the chance, you will be a little bit far behind of the others. Like the 3G, if you can see there, in Romania or in Europe, nobody escaped from the 3G. Everybody found 3G is important, even coexist with the 2G technology. So we do believe that even the 5G comes, still it will coexist with the 4G or 3G for some period.